Have you ever wondered why some things float and some things don't? Let's find out and bring the ocean to our home. Hi, my name is Sanena, and today we are going to bring a slice of the ocean to this jar. First, you will need a jar or a bottle. Some food colouring. I chose blue to be the colour of the ocean. Equal amounts of cooking oil and water. And lastly, a pecan. Step 1 is to add 1 drop of food colouring to your water, then mix together. Use enough water to fill up half of your jar. I used 1.5 cups of water. Step 2, add your water to the jar, followed by an equal amount of oil. Make sure your jar is filled with liquid right to the top. Then close the lid of your jar, and there you have it, an ocean inside of your jar.
Watch the waves carefully roll back and forth inside of the glass. Notice that the water and the oil don't mix. Even when I shake the jar and let it rest, the oil rises to the top and floats on the water. The reason that oil and water stay separate from each other is because of density. Density is the measure of mass per unit volume. This means that density is how close together our atoms are in an object. This can be shown by this simple mathematics. Density is the mass divided by the volume. So what is mass? Mass is the number of atoms in a particular object. Everything we see is made up of atoms. Different numbers of atoms crowd together to form mass. The bigger the crowd, the bigger the mass. Now let's take a look at volume. Volume is the space that an object occupies. In our experiment, we used 1.5 cups of water and 1.5 cups of oil, so they had the same volume. Now, let's use our learning to explain density. These circles represent atoms. Oil is less dense than water. Why is this? Well, oil has a small crowd of atoms that are further apart in the space, whereas water has a larger crowd of atoms that are closer together in the same space. Therefore, oil is less dense than water. And because oil is less dense than water, the oil floats on top of the water and doesn't mix.
Let's add a boat to the rolling waves of our ocean. I've chosen to use a pecan as my boat. When I drop the pecan into the jar, it sinks through the oil and sits right on top of the water. This is because the pecan is more dense than oil and less dense than water. So when I turn the jar onto its side, we can watch the pecan float on the water like a boat playing in the waves. Thank you for watching. Now you know that density is the reason as to why some things float and some things don't.